What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today when I talk to you about Rezolve AI, I want to go over some of the data points, what's moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Rezolve is down 9.05%, 304 the high, 279 the low, and around 18 million shares being traded. So we're not seeing that big rush of institutions buying the dip. Rather, there's a lot of fear starting to kind of escalate in the broader market. And so starting off, we did have one data point first thing. That was initial jobless claims, came in at 209, forecast of 205. Nothing really crazy, even though it came in a little bit hotter. The market didn't really move all that much because of that. So there is a lot of just geopolitical issues, one of which is now Iran is kind of threatening the States. So there's that. Also, we do have that impending shutdown, government shutdown. So that's going to be on Saturday. At the same time, we see now the likelihood of that occurring, I think it's around 78 to like 80%. So the likelihood of that occurring is pretty much there. And then when it comes down to today, a lot of tech and AI is selling off because of Microsoft. So this is some of the risks and concerns from their most recent earnings, which was after hours yesterday. So a lot of people are seeing some of the red flags and assuming that this is now the bubble popping, the AI bubble. And of course, this always happens. The first sign of weakness among one of the big names, you see just AI bubble, blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the day, this is why Rezolve and many other stocks are starting to go down. If you believe otherwise, take advantage, buy the dip, do what you need to do. Aside from that though, looking at this, so Rezolve did put out news early this morning. Rezolve AI positioned at the center of rapidly emerging agentic commerce standards. And as I've mentioned, like time and time again, even though Rezolve, I don't always agree with everything that they do, the sector is going to continue to grow at a massive rate. So that's ultimately what this article is saying. So in reality, as much as I always like to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly, I don't really see this being a crazy catalyst. There's no real reason to buy Rezolve because of this news. It's ultimately just saying that they are positioned for good growth in the foreseeable future. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. Aside from that though, looking at shorts, they are increasing 367,000 shares. 12.28% of the free float is being shorted. And I'm sure some of you might be wondering what the hell happened. Well, shorts did return about 8 million shares. So for those of you that always want to know what shorts did, pop over to my Patreon. I put it out completely for free, so you don't have to sign up for any tier or anything, but I give you a quick summary of, at the end of the day, what shorts did. So in reality, that's kind of what happened with Rezolve yesterday. Shorts returned about like 8.7 million. So right now sitting at 12.28% of the free floats being shorted, 26.59 million shares. You do see some signs of manipulation. So cost to borrow minimum is negative. So that does mean that there is brokers out there physically paying people to short Rezolve. So definitely some interesting stuff is happening behind the scenes, some sketchiness. But aside from that though, if you, like I said, believe in kind of what Rezolve and just AI is doing, take advantage, buy the dip and so forth. Looking at the options, we are seeing very low volume. So 716,000 in calls, 59,000 in puts, 44% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around 3. So optimism has just been thrown out the window. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 3. So a little bit more oriented towards the down. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market. So only 2. They are buys though, but still, given how much Rezolve is selling off, you would have anticipated a hell of a lot more, but still, I guess, whatever it is, what it is, a lot of fear in the broader market. So one buy for 333,000, other one for 168. Aside from that, not really much going on for shorts or even on the dark pool, which is primarily used by shorts. You see 1 or 2 hold numbers that could be linked to hedge funds, possibly rebalancing, selling out or something. But still, this exchange is extremely quiet. And it does match with the overall just lower volume. Looking at this with it at 282, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 275, which largely was kind of the saving grace. I think it was a couple days back. or trading days back, it did bounce off that 275 and started to really move higher. That might be tested potentially tomorrow, because tomorrow as well, the market's going to be very much talking about shutdown. Government shut down this, shut down this. If we look historically what happened last time, yes, it caused 1 or 2 negative days, it consolidated, but the market largely forgot about it and started to move higher. So again, this might be just a lot of unnecessary noise. But aside from that, just watch for 275 followed by 225. Flip side, 324 and 354 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. Aside from all that, on the actual chart itself, it was doing fairly good yesterday. It closed above that 50-day moving average. Unfortunately, today kind of broke below that. This is why I've always stated it needs 2 consecutive days above a key level to really signal a trend. So unfortunately, today's consolidation kind of invalidates that, but still nonetheless, as I mentioned, based on the fib levels, just kind of watch for those kind of support points and good opportunities to dollar cost average. Aside from that, stochastic RSI is extremely oversold, so a good piece of operational news. You could see some kind of nice buying going on, but looking at the market position, don't really see that much willing buyers. So there's just a lot of fear in the broader market. So we might have another April 2025 scenario on our hands where things just start going down. But still, we all generally know what happened from there. A lot of stocks 3x'd, even kind of the most conservative stocks 3x'd from those prices and those levels. So let me know your thoughts on Rezolve. Are you buying? Are you selling? What are you generally doing? But over and above all that, one final thing I just want to share with you. If you are looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, pop over to my Patreon. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. Despite what's happening in the broader market, a lot of my day trades are on point, so worthwhile to check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.